According to a recent study, the Auto Club has expected the increase of owning a vehicle to be more than $1,000 coming this year and the following year going forward. So there's lots of ways that we can save money, not just on car insurance. We're going to go over the 10 to 12 different ways that you can save money on your vehicle this year. The first one is your car insurance. If you don't currently bundle either renters or home with your auto insurance, you could be losing up to a 20% discount. Combining those two pieces will help you get a better deal on the current policy that you have. That also leads into the second piece, which is having a different deductible. So if you have a low deductible, let's say 100 or even 250, raising that deductible to a 250 or 500, I wouldn't necessarily go over $1,000 because the price doesn't really make up the value that you get back. So anything under $1,000 deductible is going to usually save you a few $100s per year alone. Keep in mind, if you do have a claim or an accident where you have to pay that deductible, then you need to have those funds available just in case you do have to pay for that claim. The third way is if you haven't shopped for insurance recently, you might want to think about looking at different options. If you've seen any of our past videos, you'll notice that insurance has gone up at least 10% across the board. 2023, in the video that I'll link after this one, we talk about how it's going to go more than 10% going forward. So having an option of knowing other companies that you can work with might get you a better deal. If you have claims free, if you have longevity with a company, you're going to get a better deal going to a new company than staying with one you have. Now, if you love your agent and you want to give them the opportunity, let them reshop it for you. But if that's not the case, it might be worth it to look at a different company. That alone could save you $1,000 a year or even more. When it comes to maintenance, that is the fourth piece, which is shop that around. I used to go to a mechanic and we loved them. We went to them. They're a very honest company, but they were almost 1.5 times the normal cost of a typical mechanic. So starting to look for more honest people that don't charge as much is usually available in your area. Yes, the cost of parts and the cost of labor may have gone up, but for a smaller hometown mechanic, that doesn't necessarily mean that they want to charge more or they need to charge more or even are. It's great if you can find a really good shop that can get you in as quick as possible, get the repairs done as quick as possible, know what they're doing, and not cost an arm and a leg. And that's the fifth piece. For those things that you can do yourself, that will be saving you tons of money and labor. If you can change your own tires, do your own oil changes, do all the simple things. For example, a lot of people think you have to bring your car to a tire shop to get a tire fixed. You just need the tire. They'll take it off the rim, they'll fix it, they'll even replace it and put it back on the rim. They'll even balance it for a cost. But if you can do the extra labor for that, you're going to save yourself a little bit of extra costs. For the smart, savvy shoppers, you may even find companies that don't charge for repairs or charge to do the labor on tire work. So in those cases, just know that that may be an option that's available. Once again, you kind of have to call a couple different places, a couple different shops to see what is out there as far as the freebies. Doing it yourself, if you can learn to quickly pull up a YouTube or a TikTok and see how to change your oil, change your wiper blades, all the simple maintenance pieces, it's going to save you a little bit of money as time goes by. And that's the sixth piece, which is buying your own parts, but buying aftermarket parts. And typically you want them to be more of an approved piece. There's two common names for mechanical parts. You've got OEM, which is original equipment, and then you have aftermarket parts, which is like your local stores like Napa and AutoZone and those different stores that sell those parts. Commonly the manufacturer makes a part, but there's about a 20 to 30% charge on top of it. They don't make them as often as your aftermarket places who use a little bit different process and maybe the parts are less expensive for them. But that doesn't necessarily mean that you're getting a worse quality. For example, I recently had a part on our vehicle fixed, and the part that I got, I just made sure the reviews were good. It was a good part. But my experience in working at a dealership, most often the non-official, non-OEM part lasted as long as the OEM part. Sometimes, and some vehicles do require the better pieces. If you're working with a foreign vehicle, a lot of times those parts are a little bit more scarce. So it just depends on what you can find that's out on the market. And that leads into the seventh piece, which is if you don't want to do the work, let's say you have a ball joint break on your car or a wheel bearing or a tie rod or whatever the case is, and you just don't know what to do. YouTube shows you, you just don't want to do it. you can actually buy the parts yourself and get the pieces at a lower cost. I actually did that with our last repair. There was a control arm that needed to be replaced, and they were charging 30 to 40% for that piece. Now, I wanted the guys to do it because I trusted them, but I didn't want to pay the markup on those parts. I got the part myself, gave it to the mechanic, they put it in, and I don't plan on ever having that go out. Your larger parts, if you see them less common after repair, are going to be easy. Just keep in mind, mechanics don't love that. The mechanic themselves don't care, but the shop is going to lose money. So yes, they're going to be a little frustrated, but the way that they're trying to combat that is they do remove the warranty in most cases. So if you do bring your own part to a shop, a lot of times they'll say that's fine, but we're going to avoid the warranty. What I personally did is I got the part, saved myself the $200, took $20 and gave them a gift card so they can all get pizza on me. Kind of winged over the shop, and I just showed appreciation to the shop that I was working with that, yes, I get it. I don't want to pay the extra cost, and I got to be mindful of this, but I appreciate you guys doing the work, so here's lunch on me. The 8th piece is reducing your cost from your driving habits. This is a touchy subject. So when you're driving, if you're like me, you like to drive fast and brake hard and do all of that, but you're wearing down the brake pads on your car. You're hurting the actual vehicle longevity by accelerating faster. In turn, you're also opening yourself to getting tickets. That ticket, if you get it, kind of throws everything out the window where you pay $100 to $300 to $500 to get that ticket taken care of. So it's going to save you some money by paying a little bit more attention on how quickly you brake, how fast you accelerate, and just in general, the speed that you're going on the road. And the 9th piece, according to this Market Watch article, is to watch the fuel levels that you're using. There's actually a rumor that if you get your fuel tank down to almost empty, you're actually using more fuel. And I haven't personally seen that myself, but I get it. I can see a small 1% change in the fuel, but you're also sucking up a lot of the gunk that's at the bottom of that tank into your engine. By doing that, it will combust at a lower rate and can cause more maintenance issues down the road. So making sure that you have at least a third, or even some people do a half of a tank or more, then that helps keep that fuel flowing through. Doesn't hurt every once in a while to put a cleaner in there. That way you can get rid of some of the buildup inside of your engine. Getting better gas mileage never hurts, no matter what year it is. And that's where a lot of people get lost. And this is where I fail, because number 10 was finding ways to save money on gas. Finding ways to save money on gas is not the easiest thing, and I just don't like to do it. I don't check to see who's got the cheapest. So far, what we found, my wife tells me whenever we need gas that we have to go to certain places. And we found some of the membership sites and places are a lot less expensive. So if you have a Costco or a Sam's Club membership, more often than not, they're going to have a lower cost on gas. Just know that if you go there during the day, most likely you're going to wait at least 10 minutes to get up to that pump. Everybody starts to see these prices be 10% or 20% lower, then they're going to swarm that place. The best times that I found is during the week before work. If I can go early enough, not a lot of people are willing to be late for work just to get gas. They'll usually go on lunch or go after work, and those are the times that they're busiest. And the 11th, 12th, 13th, and 15th way is to just in general know what you can afford. If your car's too expensive, it's time to look for something less expensive. If it's something that you want to do an upgrade, make sure that you're watching not just the price of the car, how much extra is it for the maintenance? Is it worse gas mileage? Is your insurance price going to go up? There's a lot of things that can prevent all of those increases when you're changing vehicles, but be mindful of that. It wouldn't hurt to make a spreadsheet where you kind of knew what your current vehicle is versus what your new vehicle is. Car payment, insurance, maintenance, general use of the vehicle. And hopefully you guys can let me know in the comments below which ones I've missed. I'm curious to know if there's any major pieces that you found that have been kind of hacks or tricks that you were able to save the cost of driving your vehicle from day to day. Let me know in the comments below. Otherwise, if you want more advice or more videos like this, don't forget to subscribe. I'm Mark with Think Insurance. I'll see you in the next one.